Guys, I want to go over quickly with you questions 7, 8, and 9 on the science. This is where not being in class, it becomes much more difficult to explain these kinds of things that are very easy to explain when we're in person and working together. But also, guys, eh, don't take this as it's all good. And again, if you want to take a break or if you want to do this again tomorrow, do it again tomorrow. I don't care. Do it on your schedule, not my schedule. You want to ask a question, I'm here for you. I'll answer it, whatever you need. But uh, I'm never going to just give you the answer without you trying to get some thought process going through it. So please understand that as well. You want to ask a question, I'm here for you 100%, but you're going to have to think and you're going to have to give me answers. And then we could work through it. And if you want to take a break from it or if you want to put it away, put it away. That's all there is to it. There's no, I appreciate your efforts of everything that you're trying to do. And again, sometimes school takes a long time. Sometimes you're in school from what? We're in school from 8 to 3, and obviously we don't expect you to be in front of a computer that long. But sometimes school's going to take a little longer than other days. Some days it's going to be easier. Some days it's going to be a little bit more challenging. But you know your limits. Mom and Dad know your limits. Mr. Kavanaugh is not needing everything in immediately. If you get it in immediately, I'll grade it. You get feedback right away. But if you're someone who wants to take your time and do it over the course of the week, then do it over the course of the week. Never once are you going to get I'm going to get upset for you needing to take a break. I understand this is a new world for you, so we're all learning as we go. But I'm going to be here. You know how I am. Let's get ready to work. Now, question number, what was it? It was on the chart. And again, there's words in that chart that you never even understood, never heard before. And it's okay. And I'd be able to tell you that in class. Just use the hints that they're trying to do. And what it is they're giving you the 6 kingdoms up top. You have Eubacteria, Archaebacteria, Protozoa, fungus, plant, and animal. Those are the 6 kingdoms they got for you right there. And then they have different kind of descriptions that help you determine where an organism would go. So what you're going to deal with here is they're going to give you categories. So if it says in number 26 or whatever it is, number 7 in our book, if you have an organism that is unicellular, that means it has one cell, okay? So I look at my categories for cell type. I have, nope, that's not important. I'm going to look for number of cells. You have Eubacteria has one cell, Archaebacteria has one cell, Protozoa is almost always unicellular. It means it could be multicellular, but it's almost always unicellular. Fungus is most multicellular. Plant is multicellular, animal is multicellular. So the only issue you have there was fungus. Fungus is most multicellular. That means some might be unicellular. So fungus is still in there. The ones we know we can get rid of that are not, for 100%, not unicellular are plant and animal. So they're gone. This organism I'm looking at, I know is unicellular. They're telling me that plant and animals are multicellular. And while he says every fungus is multicellular too, but it says most, it doesn't say all. So I can't get rid of that category. So I'm going to get rid of plant and animal. So now I'm left with Eubacteria, Archaebacteria, protists, and fungus. It seems this is where my organism belongs. So I go to the second category. Second category says it is a heterotroph. Okay, so I'm going to look down now where that is. That's mode of nutrition. How do they eat? Do they eat with help or do they do it on their own? Okay, so auto would mean they do it on their own. So you have, we're only going to look at the 4 because plant and animals already gone. So we'll look at autotroph, Eubacteria. Nope, it says it's a heterotroph. So now we know Eubacteria is out. It doesn't fit in that category. So then we go to Archaebacteria. It's either auto or hetero. Could be either one. So can I get rid of it? No, I can't, because it could be a heterotroph. So Archaebacteria, this organism can go into. Now, how about protists? Protists also says either auto or hetero. So I'm going to leave it because it could be hetero. And then I look at fungus and it says heterotroph. So it's good. Heterotroph stays. So you have, the only one we were able to get rid of there was Eubacteria. I still have 3 categories left that could be those 2 criteria. You have Archaebacteria still is in there, protists is still there, and fungus is still there. So I'm going to get another criteria. Let's see. It says non-motile, means it doesn't move. Okay, so we go to Archaebacteria first. It says non-motile, could be Archaebacteria. And then you go to protists. It says non-motile. Make sure we use the right one. Did I say motile on yours? I think I might have changed it. Let me just check the answer here real quick. Hold on 1 second for me, guys. Science. Give me 1 second just to look at that question. I think I might have changed it. Let's see, last question. Give it to me. I said motile. Okay, so I said unicellular, heterotroph, motile. On this one, I had non-motile. So I'm looking for it moves. Okay, motile. Let's see. Okay, so fungus again says most non-motile, which again means it could be. And then you have protozoa, which it says either or, and Archaebacteria is none. So I'm left with 2 categories, protist or fungus. But I have nothing else to do. There's no more criteria. So I don't know which kingdom that organism belongs to. They gave me 3 great things, and I was able to eliminate 4 kingdoms, but I still have 2 left. So I do not have an answer for that question. So your answer to number 7 should be, no, I am not able to know what kingdom there is because I'm still left with protist and fungus. I would need more information to place it in a category. That's what I would need for you to understand at that point. So that would be the question to number 7. And then we go to the brown bear. Is it the black bear or the brown bear? Brown bear. Okay. Question number 28 says, if it belongs to the kingdom, most of you got the answers right. You just weren't able to explain it. So what I want to show you something is, we all know that you start, the top of the taxonomy chart starts with a lot of animals. And as you go down, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller to just one, to its scientific name. So watch, I'm going to show it to you just by doing it with our class. Okay, let's just say we start with Cherokee Street. Say we have 400 students at Cherokee Street, right? Okay, then I go Cherokee 5th graders, students in Cherokee that are in 5th grade. So we're at 400, and now we're going to go down. So we're here. Then we're going to go to just 5th graders, and I think it's like 100. It's a roundabout answer. So now we're at 100, okay? You notice how we went down? Why did we go down? We went from all of Cherokee to just Cherokee 5th graders. So what did we do? We made it more specific, right? And when you make things more specific, right, the smaller the categories get. So now we're going to go even more specific. Let's go 5th grade, Cherokee students that are 5th graders in Mr. Kavanaugh's room. So now we have 21. Look how easily we made our numbers. Very small right off the bat. So from 400 to 100 to 21. Now, let me ask you this. How about let's go Cherokee students that are 5th graders in Mr. Kavanaugh's class that are boys. Okay? So now we're down to 11. 11 that fit every criteria. You notice how as we're getting more and more specific, it gets smaller and smaller. Now, off the top of my head, I think the answer is 5, but let me just say, Cherokee students that are in the 5th grade, that are in Mr. Kavanaugh's class, that are boys that have light hair. And I think that's down to 5. See, now all Cherokee students. And it's important the way you break it down, too. I didn't say Cherokee students that have light hair, because this number would be a lot higher, right? This is Cherokee students was category 1. Category 2 was 5th graders. Category 3 was Mr. Kavanaugh's class. Category 4 was boy or girl. Category 5 was light hair. They have to be a boy with light hair, not a girl with light hair. Boy with light hair. This is criteria. This is how we're breaking it down. And then if I went to even try to get even more specific, I would say Cherokee student, 5th grader, Mr. Kavanaugh's class. That's a boy with light hair. That's from Maryland. And who's that? We would get it down to 1. And that 1 would have a name. And his name would be Bobby Kokesh. And that would be how we would get as specific as we can. As you go down the chart, the animal kingdom, any kingdom, it gets very, very specific. Because if you look in the animal kingdom, you have, it starts with the domain. So you have a tree and a bear are in the same category. And then as you go down, the tree is gone, but now you have say you go down the Phylum Chordata, you have a bird, a cardinal, and the bear. Then you would never think they were similar, but they have similarities that put them there, right? And then you go all the way down, and you notice as it's going down, wow, everything's starting to look alike. Everything looks very, very similar. As you go down to the mammalia, you have a squirrel. It looks like some kind of cat, a panda, a polar bear, and a brown bear. Now they're getting more and more specific. As you go down to the second to last category, you have a polar bear and a brown bear. You would say they're very similar, right? But then when you get even more specific, you would go to brown bear. So the more and more questions you ask, the more and more specific that it gets. So the question and answers for number 8 and 9 were, I think it was yes and no, but the explanation was, as you get, one question was, one item is here, is it also here? That answer is yes, always yes. If something is here, that means they share all these in common. Because you think about these, Bobby, or all these 5 kids here, they all share this in common. They all have that in common. So they share all that. But now these kids, they don't share everything in common with these kids. You see how it gets more and more specific? So they don't share everything in common anymore. So they're not in the same group anymore. As you go up the chart, the categories become less specific. So they do share everything. So here, they share everything. They share everything. Everybody in this category is also going to be here. Everybody in this category is going to be here. Everybody in this category is going to be here. And that's how the answer to that question. So as you go down the chart, the more and more specific that it gets. I hope that helps. And again, resubmit it. It says a quiz, but I wanted you to use any resources you have.